In the heart of Islam lies a profound belief in one God, known as Allah. This concept, central to the Islamic faith, emphasizes Allah's absolute oneness, transcending any form of plurality or association. Muslims believe that Allah is the creator and sustainer of everything, holding absolute power and authority over all creation. He is seen as merciful and compassionate, yet also just and severe in his judgment. The Islamic understanding of Allah is rooted in the idea of Tawheed, which means oneness or unity. Tawheed stresses the indivisible nature of Allah, rejecting any notion of partners, associates, or offspring. Muslims firmly believe that Allah is unique and incomparable, distinct from any other being or entity. This belief forms the foundation of Islamic theology and practice. The Quran, Islam's holy book, emphasizes Allah's oneness throughout its verses. For instance, it states, "Say, He is Allah who is one, Allah the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is born, nor is there to him any equivalent." Quran 112:1-4. This verse encapsulates the essence of Tawheed, highlighting Allah's singularity and eternal nature. Muslims believe that recognizing and worshipping Allah as the one true God is the fundamental purpose of human existence. This belief shapes their worldview, values and actions, guiding them to live in accordance with Allah's will. By understanding Allah's oneness, Muslims strive to submit to His guidance and seek His pleasure in all aspects of life. The concept of a supreme being, a divine force governing the universe, resonates across many religions. While names and attributes may differ, the fundamental idea of a higher power connects faiths like Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. These Abrahamic religions share a common root, acknowledging the God of Abraham as their origin. Each faith, however, developed distinct interpretations and beliefs over time. Christianity, while believing in one God, perceives God as a Trinity: the Father, the Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. This concept distinguishes Christianity from Islam's strict belief in Allah's absolute oneness. Judaism, similar to Islam, emphasizes the oneness of God. However, Jewish belief centers on God's covenant with Abraham and his descendants, focusing on their unique relationship with the divine. Hinduism, on the other hand, presents a diverse belief system. While some Hindu schools of thought believe in a single supreme God, Brahman, others worship a multitude of deities considered manifestations of Brahman. This polytheistic approach contrasts with Islam's unwavering monotheism. Despite differences, the common thread lies in acknowledging a power beyond human comprehension, a force that created and governs the universe. This shared belief fosters a sense of humility and reverence for the divine, regardless of the specific religious lens. Understanding these similarities and differences encourages interfaith dialogue and promotes respect for the diverse ways people connect with the spiritual realm. In the grand tapestry of existence, Islam offers a clear and profound answer to the age-old question: what is the purpose of human life? Muslims believe that they were created by Allah for a specific reason: to worship and serve Him. This purpose is not confined to ritualistic practices alone. It encompasses every aspect of a Muslim's life. Worship in Islam extends beyond the confines of mosques and prayer rugs. It encompasses every act performed with sincerity and the intention of pleasing Allah. From showing kindness to others to striving for justice in society, every righteous deed becomes an act of worship. This holistic understanding of worship elevates the mundane to the spiritual, imbuing daily life with meaning and purpose. Furthermore, serving Allah entails utilizing the gifts and talents He has bestowed upon us to make a positive impact on the world. Muslims are encouraged to seek knowledge, contribute to their communities, and strive for the betterment of humanity. By using their abilities for good, they fulfill their purpose and earn Allah's favor. This understanding of life's purpose provides Muslims with a profound sense of direction and motivation. It instills in them a sense of responsibility towards their Creator and fellow beings, urging them to live a life of virtue, compassion, and service. Ultimately, by fulfilling their purpose, Muslims believe they draw closer to Allah and attain everlasting peace and happiness in the hereafter. In the Islamic faith, fulfilling the purpose of life, worshipping and serving Allah, is achieved through a multifaceted approach centered around the concept of Islam itself, which means submission or surrender to the will of God. This submission is not a passive surrender but an active and conscious effort to align one's life with Allah's guidance as revealed through the Quran and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. The 5 pillars of Islam form the foundational framework for this submission and serve as practical guidelines for Muslims to live a life pleasing to Allah. These pillars are 1. Declaration of Faith, Shahada. The bedrock of Islam, this pillar affirms belief in the oneness of Allah and the prophethood of Muhammad, signifying complete surrender to the divine will. 2. Prayer, Salah. 5 times daily, Muslims turn towards Mecca, offering prayers to Allah. This rhythmic cycle of bowing and prostrating serves as a constant reminder of their submission and dependence on their Creator. 3. Fasting during Ramadan. This month-long period of abstaining from food and drink from dawn till dusk fosters empathy for the less fortunate and strengthens spiritual resilience. 4. Charity, Zakat. Giving a portion of one's wealth to the needy purifies the heart from greed and fosters social responsibility, reflecting the Islamic emphasis on social justice. 5. Pilgrimage to Mecca, Hajj. This once-in-a-lifetime journey for those who are able signifies unity and equality among Muslims, reminding them that they stand as equals before Allah. Through these pillars, Islam provides a practical roadmap for Muslims to live a life of purpose and devotion. By adhering to these principles, Muslims strive to embody the values of Islam, compassion, justice, humility, and service in their daily lives. Section 5, the final test, death and the afterlife in Islamic belief. In Islam, death is not viewed as an end, but as a transition to the afterlife, a realm of existence far surpassing our earthly experience. It is considered the ultimate test, where one's deeds and intentions during their earthly life will be weighed on the scales of divine justice. This belief underscores the importance of leading a righteous life, as every action, thought, and intention carries eternal consequences. The Quran and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad provide detailed accounts of what Muslims believe happens after death. Upon death, the soul is separated from the body and enters an intermediate state known as barzakh, where it awaits the day of judgment. During this period, the soul experiences a foretaste of its eternal fate, based on its deeds in the worldly life. The concept of accountability is central to the Islamic understanding of the afterlife. Muslims believe that on the Day of Judgment all souls will be resurrected and gathered before Allah to account for their actions. Every deed, no matter how small, will be brought forth and judged with perfect justice and mercy. This belief fosters a sense of responsibility and encourages Muslims to live a life of righteousness and virtue. The Islamic perspective on death and the afterlife provides a powerful framework for navigating the challenges and uncertainties of life. It offers solace in times of grief, reminding Muslims that death is not the end, but a transition to a higher realm of existence. Moreover, it instills a sense of purpose and accountability, urging Muslims to live a life worthy of divine reward. Section 6. A Day of Reckoning, Judgment Day, and its significance. Central to the Islamic understanding of the afterlife is the concept of Judgment Day, a momentous event marking the end of this world and the beginning of the hereafter. It is believed to be a day of unimaginable magnitude, where time will cease, and all of humanity from the first human to the last will be resurrected and assembled before Allah. On this day, the divine scales of justice will be set, and every individual will be held accountable for their actions, thoughts, and intentions during their earthly life. The righteous, those whose good deeds outweigh their sins, will be rewarded with eternal bliss in paradise. Conversely, those whose evil deeds outweigh their good will face the consequences of their actions in hell. The Quran vividly describes the awe-inspiring events of Judgment Day, emphasizing its significance in the grand scheme of creation. It serves as a stark reminder of the transient nature of this world and the eternal consequences of our actions. This belief fosters a sense of accountability and encourages Muslims to live a life of purpose and righteousness, knowing that they will be held accountable for their choices. The concept of Judgment Day provides a profound framework for understanding the Islamic perspective on justice, accountability, and the purpose of life. It underscores the importance of living a virtuous life not out of fear of punishment but out of love and reverence for Allah and a desire to attain His pleasure and mercy. Section 7. Paradise and Hell, the eternal destinations in Islam. In the Islamic faith, the afterlife culminates in one of two eternal destinations: paradise, a realm of unimaginable bliss and reward, or hell, a place of suffering and punishment. These destinations are not merely physical spaces, but represent the culmination of one's spiritual journey and the consequences of their choices in the earthly life. Paradise is described in the Quran as a garden of perpetual serenity, where rivers flow with milk and honey, and the righteous dwell in eternal peace and happiness. It is a place where all desires are fulfilled, and the souls of the believers find solace and contentment in the presence of Allah. The descriptions of paradise serve as a source of inspiration and motivation for Muslims, encouraging them to strive for righteousness and earn Allah's pleasure. In contrast, hell is depicted as a place of fire and torment, where those who rejected Allah's guidance and persisted in sin face the consequences of their actions. The Quran's descriptions of hell serve as a stark warning against the perils of straying from the path of righteousness. The Islamic concept of paradise and hell underscores the importance of free will and the eternal implications of our choices. It emphasizes that our actions have consequences, both in this life and the hereafter. By understanding the nature of these eternal destinations, Muslims are encouraged to live a life of purpose, striving for righteousness and seeking Allah's forgiveness. Section 8. Shared values finding common ground between faiths. While different religions may have varying beliefs about the nature of God and the afterlife, there exists a common thread of shared values that transcends theological differences. These universal values, often rooted in the inherent goodness of humanity, form the bedrock of ethical and moral conduct across various faiths. Concepts like compassion, empathy, and love for one another resonate deeply across different religious traditions. For instance, the Golden Rule, which emphasizes treating others as one wishes to be treated, finds expression in various forms across religions like Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, and Hinduism. This shared value promotes peace, harmony, and understanding among people of different faiths. Similarly, the importance of justice, fairness, and upholding the rights of all individuals is a common theme found in religious scriptures and teachings worldwide. Whether it's the Islamic emphasis on social justice or the Christian call to love thy neighbor, these values encourage individuals to create a more equitable and compassionate society. By focusing on these shared values, people of different faiths can bridge theological divides and work together towards a common goal of creating a more just, compassionate, and harmonious world. Recognizing our shared humanity and embracing the universal values that unite us can pave the way for greater interfaith dialogue, understanding, and cooperation. Section 9. Conclusion. Embracing our shared humanity. As we've explored the Islamic perspective on God, human purpose, and the afterlife, it becomes evident that despite differing beliefs, there exists a fundamental yearning for meaning and connection with the divine that transcends religious boundaries. While theological interpretations may vary, the essence of faith often lies in the pursuit of truth, justice, compassion, and a life lived in service to something greater than oneself. In an increasingly interconnected world, understanding and respecting different religious perspectives is crucial for fostering peaceful coexistence and meaningful dialogue. By focusing on the shared values that unite us, compassion, empathy, justice, and love, we can bridge theological divides and work together towards a more harmonious and compassionate world. Ultimately, embracing our shared humanity, regardless of religious affiliation, allows us to appreciate the richness and diversity of human experience while recognizing the common thread of spirituality that connects us all. It is through such understanding and respect that we can build bridges of compassion, fostering a world where differences are not seen as barriers, but as opportunities for growth, learning, and mutual understanding.